Coming up on Mountain News this morning, there's been a bit of shakeup in how election results will be displayed for one county in our region during the primary. And Attorney General Daniel Cameron announces a new program meant to protect our kids from human trafficking.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It is Thursday. I'm Dakota Maker. It's almost 5 o'clock here. Good morning to you. Let's head on over to Brandon for a look at that forecast. And Brandon, thankfully, this time, looking at the cameras, there's no fog around.
Right. So we're good today on that.
Yeah.
But again, we're not going to stay good today because there's chances for rain that return as early as this afternoon. So our drier trend giving way to a back and forth trend, to say the least. Let's go to our camera network, kind of take a look around the region, and you see from WYMT to the London Corbin Airport, Pikeville, Jenkins, Buffalo, and Pine Mountains, no major issues out there this morning across the region. A little bit on the cooler side, but some spots a little warmer than yesterday. 61 right now, Jackson, 62 Monticello, 48 though in Ashland, 47 in Clintwood, 50s everywhere else for a moment, but we've got 50 in Hazard, we've got 50 in Irvin, and still a little bit of clear skies out there, so we may drop into the 40s in some of those spots here pretty soon. We head out to the out-the-door forecast, and we're not going to see a whole lot of change today until we get later on. Well, I don't think it's in the show, but that's all right. The out-the-door forecast is going to be basically dry to start, and then rain chances later on. 82 will be your daytime high. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. We are now 5 days away from Election Day in Kentucky, and at least one of the 120 counties in the Commonwealth will not be included on the State Board of Elections website on election night. In Laurel County, its primary election night, complete results will not be included. Julia Sandor talked with the Laurel County Clerk to find out why the county made that decision.
There's about 45,000 registered voters in Laurel County, according to County Clerk Tony Brown. He says after they already sent out the county's absentee ballots, they were informed by the State Board of Elections that they wanted their absentee results to be in precinct level form.
When we sent out ballots, we only did it by ballot styles. We don't do it by precinct level. We do it by a ballot style, just to protect the secrecy of the vote.
Laurel County won't be uploading their results to the Board of Elections website on election night. Instead, they'll be uploading it to their own website. It's a decision the county clerk says was made for voters' privacy. Typically, the State Board of Elections election night reporting website reports vote totals for the primary at both the county and precinct level. In a letter from the State Board to Brown, they ask that they set up their election machines in a way to report all ballot types by precinct on election night.
The ballots that came back, we would actually have to open those and transpose them to a readable ballot for the election. And to protect the secrecy of the vote, talking with the county attorney and the Commonwealth's attorney, they said no, that's not advisable, and advised us not to do it, so we're not going to do that.
Right now, they're focused on having an efficient election.
Tuesday, Election Day, it'll be a day of making sure everything goes correctly, that everybody has what they need, that everything is going smooth in the voting centers that we have in Laurel County, and getting the results back and getting them out to the people as fast as possible.
In Laurel County, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
We reached out to the Secretary of State's office for comment, but officials say the election results website is run by the State Board of Elections, so they do not have control of this matter. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron held a news conference yesterday in Frankfort announcing a new program implemented by his office called It Helps to Know. Attorney General Cameron says this program aims to protect Kentucky's kids from human trafficking and will help caregivers identify signs that a child may run away, provide more resources to locate them, and debunk the myth that those who run away are not in danger. The AG is also running for governor and is not scheduled to campaign here in the mountains again before Tuesday's primary. Kelly Craft's husband, Joe Craft, made a stop in the mountains yesterday. He made his way to his hometown of Hazard to campaign on behalf of his wife. He discussed Kelly's dedication to Eastern Kentucky, but also gave his perspective on her absence from the most recent Republican gubernatorial debates.
If they were to have a civil debate, she would have been more than happy to be there. But it's not fair to the voters to be able to have a shouting match So we elected to go ahead and just do a town hall, a teletown hall, that would give the voters the opportunity to hear her message. I would say she got 30 times many more questions she would have had she been in that debate that night.
Kraft was scheduled to make stops in Rockcastle, Clay, and Boyd counties on Wednesday, but she will not be back in Eastern Kentucky before the election. She will be campaigning with Texas Senator Ted Cruz on Saturday in Louisville and Richmond. 15 candidates have put their name in the hat for governor. 12 of those candidates are vying for the Republican nomination, while 3, including Governor Andy Beshear, want to represent the Democratic Party. Some of the other frontrunners in the GOP primary are visiting the mountains in the next few days. Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles will be making stops in Whitley, Laurel, Rockcastle counties today. Somerset Mayor Alan Keck will go on a 24-hour blitz across the state on Monday, with stops scheduled in London, Manchester, Jackson, and Paintsville. We reached out to Mike Harmon and Eric Dieters, but have not heard back from them as far as their plans between now and Tuesday. Early voting begins today, and we received word Secretary of State Michael Adams will be among those casting his ballot in Louisville. Applications for the Community Development Block Grant to help flood victims are open. In the Big Sandy region, some homes and families were affected by the flooding twice in less than 18 months. Now the grants, which were announced by Governor Andy Beshear in late April, will award homeowners in eligible counties as much as $200,000 for home repair or rebuild. Floyd County Judge Executive Robbie Williams says this allows people the opportunity and choice to stay in their hometown rather than being forced away by disaster.
And no one wants to pack up and leave their home that they've lived in for 30 years because of flood. This is going to give us an opportunity to help you to stay in that home that you've lived in for 30 years.
Well, the Judge Executive says more disaster relief funds should be announced in the coming weeks, which are also parts of the Community Development Block Grants. Thank you so much for getting your Thursday morning started with the Sierra Mountain News this morning. When we come back, former President Donald Trump faces tough questions from voters in New Hampshire during a CNN town hall.
Another calm weather day is on the way, but the pattern could return to active in the next several hours. I will have the latest forecast in about 3 minutes.